Good. Welcome to the video lecture series of wireless cellular and 4G LTE module number 1, lecture number 12. So today we are going to see about the empirical channel model or empirical channel modeling. In the yesterday's video lecture number 11, we have seen how the statistical modeling is been done in the wireless communication. But let me make you more clear about the things like these type of modelings, like whether it is a statistical modeling or whether it is empirical modeling. Okay, so the main reason why we go for the modeling of the channel particular path is nothing but just to have the good efficiency, then the increase in the performance, and where we can also look over the quality of service which this a particular LT will provide. Okay, but the main fundamental here is that in the broadband channel of an LTE system, there are two different type of losses which usually encounter. Okay, just to have the minimum loss or the negligible loss in the wireless communication. Okay, so in the channel part we try to model the channel, okay, because it is not concerned with the transmitter and the receiver. The main focus what we are trying to do here is for the channel part. So in this video lecture we'll try to see about how this particular empirical channel is been modeled, so that our wireless communication or the efficiency of our wireless communication will be increased. Okay, and apart from that, how we try to model this particular system to study in more detail. Okay, let us consider the different type of losses which are encountered in the LTE system. Like we have the path loss, right? We have the losses because of the multipath. Okay, and multipath, or you can say the losses which are because of the shadowing effect. Okay, so let us see how actually this empirical channel modeling is been done. Okay, the basic fundamental here is that the when it comes to the discussion with respect to the statistical modeling or whether it is an empirical modeling, okay, we try to look at the environment. Okay, now to be more specific here is like the communication channel here is completely a wireless communication, right? So just to have the complete knowledge about the wireless communication, okay, or the channel part, we know that there are things which are there in the wireless communication, like the problems, like we have some kind of buildings, we have some objects, we have some plants, we have some mountains, right? Everything is like there is a reflection, refraction, or there is maybe a scattering effect. Okay, and when these kind of problems occurs during the communication, okay, then the computation of this particular signal, it becomes very difficult. Okay, or you may say that it becomes a kind of uh, uh, difficulty while computing the signal, which is because signal where which is varying with respect to time. Okay, so we need to adopt some kind of methodology. Okay, and it should be very realistic methodology. Okay, we cannot use an unrealistic methodology between the transmitter and the receiver. It's like we cannot go like an assumption based. Okay, everything need to be modeled, everything need to be more specific. Okay, when it comes to the communication part. Okay, and there should be also an assumption to be made that if any one of the object is nothing but like whether it is a transmitter or whether it is a receiver, if they are in the moving, okay, or you can say that the subject is moving, then what will be the scenario with respect to the channel modeling part. Okay, so therefore we try to focus more on the empirical and semi-empirical, okay, wireless channel model, which will give you an accurately or estimated value of the path loss, or whether it is a shadowing or it is come to the fading part. Okay, so these type of model, okay, sometimes we require some kind of an analytic part. Okay, or sometimes we go for the simulation part. Okay, but basically when it comes to a statistical part, okay, it will be an analytical part. Please do remember this. And when it comes to the empirical part, it will be in terms of the simulation based. Okay, and when you try to compare these two designs, okay, the simulation part will be like it will be like more fairly, the answers will be more fairly, because once we go for the simulation part, we can easily analyze how actually these models are being designed. Okay, by specifying some parameters or varying some parameters, or okay, and considering some different scenarios, or you can say that simply some kind of a case studies. Okay, so there are other different models are available, like we have the parametric channel modeling. Okay, where signals will be considered with different types of factors, like we have the angle of departure, okay, how the antenna has been designed, whether it is a single antenna or whether it is a multiple antenna, or simply it is just like whether we are making use of some MIMO systems, okay. And apart from that, we also try to study out the radiation pattern of the antenna, okay, because when you get to study, when you just study the radiation pattern of an antenna, you can easily get to know the things like what are the radiation losses, how much is the radiation losses, okay. And if you try to find out the angle theta, okay, then easily you can model the antenna part also, right? So therefore there are various different models are available when it comes to the empirical part of the discussion, okay. Now let us see how one by one how actually the empirical model has been designed with respect to the different losses which we have studied already in our previous video lectures, okay. So let us consider the first empirical model, okay, with related to the path loss, okay. Now let me show you another thing here just before the beginning of this model, okay. So here I have one thing, there are some things need to be considered before or when you need to try to study out before before you can say that the things or the fundamentals, okay, which are required more here, okay. Now let me show you here one thing where the things are like whether the model need to be specified more clearly or uh, okay. Okay, now look at this here, okay. I have an empirical model here, okay. You can just look out here, like when it compared with the earlier cellular empirical models, okay, because we have been seen how actually there is a progress from 1G to 5G or 1G to 4G, okay. Now soon we may encountered with the 5G technology, okay, into our mobile phones, okay. So earlier empirical models, okay, they are focused more on the path loss models, okay, which are completely based on the extensive measurements, okay. And there is one model which is also called as Okumura model, okay. It is again an empirical based model where it is more specific with respect to the frequencies, or okay, with respect to the site, or simply can say as a cell, okay, which uses some graphical representation, okay. And there is another model, a conventional model, which is called as a Hatta model, okay. It also belongs to the empirical model, but here it is completely based on the approximation, or you can say this analytical approximation, okay, with respect to the Okumura model, okay. The another model which is nothing but COS231 model, okay, it is an extension of the Hatta model, but the thing is like the frequency has been increased to 2 gigahertz. Then again, okay, channel model, okay, where it has been compared with some other conventional type of models, okay. Now if you just look at here in the empirical model, okay, so what empirical model comprises is like nothing but it has a path loss, shadowing and fading, okay. So these are different types of models which have been developed. Now when it compares to the earlier models, if you consider it from 1G to 3G or 1G to LTE, or it can be the 5G, okay. So there are some path loss models were designed earlier, okay, which are based on extension measurements. Now there is an Okumura model, which is an empirical based, which uses some kind of a graphical representation for the analysis part. The another model is a Hatta model, okay, where the analytical, it is based on the approximation of the Okumura model. It means that whatever the model which is designed by the Okumura, it will be considered, and this Hatta model, which it will try to find the analysis, or it will do the analysis based on the approximation values, okay. Then the 231 model, it has been extended version of the Hatta model, and only the difference is that the frequency has been increased to 2 gigahertz, okay. Then we have multi-slope model, Walfish, okay, it is an extension of 231 model, but only includes is the diffraction. It means that different cases are being designed and they are studied with respect to the empirical models, okay. Why it is required is nothing but just to have the proper efficiency, just to have the proper quality of service, whether the models are giving the proper values such that it can be incorporated into the empirical incorporated into the communication channel, okay. Now when it comes to the LTE model, okay, not 1G to 3G model, LTE model, or you can say the 4G models. Okay, so detailed path loss will be studied here. Okay, for the user equipment, the UE stands for the user equipment. Okay, and also for the base station. Okay, I will not try to only design my empirical model only for the channel part. Okay, only for the respect to the path loss models. Okay, I will try to just go for the detailed analysis on the user entity model. Okay, and also for the base station model, but not for the single path. I will go for the different path. Okay, it is called as a multi-path, delay spread. Okay, and what is the speed, user speed, and the MIMO antenna correlation, because there are different types of and different multi antennas are being used at the receiver side as well as the transmitter side, right? So is there any kind of a correlation between the different antennas which are there in the receiver part? Okay, it's just like you need to analyze the whole system, LTE system or the 5G system, making sure that there will be reduced loss, path losses. Okay, and the 5G model includes the high frequency up to 100 gigahertz. Okay, now the frequency range is been increased to 100 gigahertz. What happens if I go beyond the frequency range which is designed for the 4G model? Okay, just if I go beyond 4G model, it is just like the analysis will be more tricky or more complex. Okay, because everything has to be considered till 100 gigahertz. Now if I take up the Wi-Fi channel models, okay, indoor and outdoor path losses with respect to the MIMO systems, okay, has to be studied with respect to the delay spread. Okay, so this is how we try to model out the things. Okay, just to make sure that there should not be any kind of huge losses in the path loss. Okay, that is what it has been shown in this particular path loss. Okay, so everything has to be considered, the cost of the HATA model. Okay, and it has to be represented with respect to some formulations. If you can just look at this particular formula, okay, which is used for the calculation of the path loss. Okay, PL stand for the path loss. Okay, that is nothing but correlation path loss measured in the dB. Okay, so here it has been taken with respect to the different scenarios. Okay, whether it is a microcell or it can be a 3GPP. Okay, so by computation of this formula, okay, by taking some base station antenna height in terms of meters, carrier frequency in terms of megahertz, okay, and also the distance. Okay, you can see here it is written as a distance, calculating the distance in terms of log terms. Okay, and so if you try to formulate this particular model, then obviously you can get to know about how much is the path loss, what should be the minimum path loss. Okay, and again it also depends upon the area also. Okay, if you are applying the path loss model for the urban areas, it will be different. For the rural areas, it will be different. Okay, for the cities, it is different. So based on the area also, the losses will be different. Okay, and based on those losses, the model will be designed such that it has to satisfy the statistical parameters, and it has to be properly distributed. It means that I will use proper distribution technique, okay, such that the efficiency of the whole system will be maintained properly. Then the second thing is nothing but if you consider the multipath. Okay, so if you consider the multipath, the basic concept says that when the signal is being transmitted from the transmitting antenna, okay, because of the reflection, refraction, and the diffraction and other things like the object, the signal getting hit to different paths. Okay, the signal may encounter multipath. Okay, it means that the same signal will be copied different times, but at the when it received at the receiver side, it is the multi signal of the same information, right? So what will be the type of model has to be designed, okay, if it encounters the multipath. Okay, again the modeling will be quite similar to the path loss. Only the thing is nothing but here the scattering effect is also considered, because there will be some kind of a local scattering also exist. Okay, now the another thing here is nothing but what will be the delay time. Okay, now when the delay times and the different scattering, local scattering is being considered, then the focus will be more on the received power. Okay, whether the received power is it different with for all the paths or all the channels, okay, which are coming from the different different area or different objects when they get hitted. Okay, so everything will be considered in a proper manner. Okay, and then it has to be modeled again. There will be some kind of a formulation has to be designed for that particular particular model. And one thing you can see here, okay, in this figure number 2.9, 19, okay, 3GPP channel model for MIMO simulation. Okay, so we'll try to simulate this particular path. Okay, so you can see this is the base station array and this is the mobile station array. Okay, and when the signal is been traveling through the different path, okay, this is path 1, path 2 and path 3. So there is just like a clustering is also happening. This is the clustering N, the circle part, and this is nothing but subpath M. Okay, so there are different angles are being generated, or there are you can see there are many different angles. Okay, when they travel to different multipath. Okay, so this type of simulation model has to be designed in the empirical model. Okay, so if you try to go for modeling of such multipath, okay, there is a possibility that we may come with the different types of angle. Okay, angle of departure is there. Okay, angle of arrival is also there. Okay, so it will give you different information. Okay, and but the whole thing will be dependent on the M, that is M is nothing but the number of subpath per path. Okay, and also the effect of shadowing. Okay, so here are the different things are there. Similarly, there is another like semi-empirical channel path modeling is also there. Okay, we will not focus much on that particular region. Okay, because when there is a empirical modeling is been designed, semi-empirical is just like inside. Okay, because we don't know how actually the signal will travel when we try to consider this. Okay, because when you come to the semi-empirical models, okay, there may be some kind of an alternative things to be incorporated. Okay, some practical parameters should also be considered with the real-time signals. Okay, and because there are some multipath models are also they are also already designed. Okay, so it may consider it may also include the pedestrian. Okay, like the person who is walking here and there, some vehicles are also considered, because we cannot say that the signal will get only hit to the trees and the buildings and glasses and or the high objects. Okay, it may also come down to the lower level. Okay, like just like the humans are there, like we have the vehicles are also there, like it's just like a kind of a steady. Okay, because the buildings and the trees and other objects, they are stationary, but the human, the car and the other things which are moving in and around the at the ground level or the at the earth level, right? So there is a possibility that there is a high mobility of the mobile users. So when it comes to the calculation of the power, there may be possibility that the power level when we try to calculate it may be different, right? So therefore the things, such type of things has to be also considered when we try to go for modeling of the channel. Okay, so all these examples are belonging to semi-empirical channel model. Okay, so with this I'll try to conclude this particular part here. Okay, so empirical channel models, they just follow the fundamental principles of the statistical parameter model. Okay, which we have already discussed in the video lectures. Okay, and when we consider the empirical measurement results, okay, and some semi-empirical channel models are also suitable for link level simulation. Okay, and the performance evaluation in real broadband wireless environment. So when you try to consider the different types of example, there is a possibility that you may increase the performance level, you may increase the quality of service of that particular wireless channel. Okay, so with this I will conclude the today's video lecture here. Thank you.